the alien presence. First of all, let me start by saying I'm not an expert nor a theorist. I never once experienced an encounter with a UFO, nor have I ever seen any alien creatures. I never witnessed strange objects in the sky. All I have is my curiosity, an open mind, my imagination, and my ability to create nice videos. But one thing is for certain. It is truly impossible to think that we are the only living creatures in this huge, never-ending universe. Millions of people who claim to be abducted by malevolent visitors. Millions of UFO sightings all over the world. Can we just write this off as mass hysteria or copy behavior? And I truly believe our governments will do anything to keep reliable information from us. They have hundreds of scientists come up with bogus statements and scientific studies to prove that it's all imagination and part of a collective mass hysteria. And NASA, well, the only thing they are good for is spending our tax money. Don't get me wrong, I do believe they put this money to good use, and I do believe our tax money is well spent on the search for intelligent life elsewhere. But the main problem is they keep their findings to themselves. The people who actually fund this research, namely us, the ordinary taxpayers, are kept in the dark. All these secret agencies, all these black budget programs with one single purpose, to keep information hidden from the general public. Even the Roman Catholic Church suddenly admits there is something out there. All of a sudden, after centuries of denial, the Vatican says the visitors are welcome. They even offered to baptize any possible aliens. Well, apparently the people in charge have decided that we can't handle the truth. But in my opinion, it's very simple. If our governments use our money to search for evidence, shouldn't we at least have the right to see and hear about the results? Well, according to NASA, the search for intelligent life is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Well, if you ask me, those needles show up in our skies on a daily basis. Those needles are kidnapping thousands of people all over the world. But that so-called haystack is created by those in charge. The symbolic haystack that stands for the cover-ups, the lies, and the deceit. And what about those so-called reliable scientists? They are all handpicked to spread nonsense and half-truths. And if there's a scientist who chooses to come forward with real reliable evidence, he or she gets banned from the collective and slowly disappears from the scene. Of course, after being discredited by his or her colleagues in the field. One of the great examples of mass deception is the one I used in my Extraterrestrial Rumors documentary. One of the chapters in this video investigates NASA's search for water on the moon in 2009. NASA fired a rocket with high explosives into a dark crater on the moon. The reason for this incredible example of destructive behavior outside the borders of our planet, they wanted to see how much water particles came up with the debris after this huge explosion took place on the moon. The impact was so big that it was visible on Earth while using a scope. And they even broadcasted this spectacle on a live feed. So most people thought it was a plausible thing to do in NASA's search for water. After people saw my video, I noticed that most of them were not aware this ever happened. Most of my viewers were shocked to hear about this. Because if we were to set up a base on the moon eventually, we need precious water for fuel purposes and to sustain life on the moon. But anyone who did just a tiny bit of research knows that they already built something up there, or even found evidence of intelligent life on the moon. Now, tell me, is it coincidence that right after the US found out that Iran, North Korea, India, and a lot more countries had the ability to put satellites in the orbit of the moon, that they quickly decided to bomb the moon in the pretext of searching for water? My guess is that they didn't want those countries to find what's up there, so they destroyed any possible evidence. Iran, North Korea, India, and hell knows how many countries do not belong to this exclusive club of countries that have this knowledge for several decades now. And my guess is those other countries, like the US and Russia, they want to keep it that way. Well, if you take all this in consideration, it becomes quite obvious that they are keeping important information from us. So, if you are able to connect the dots, the entire picture gets clearer and clearer. And it's pretty obvious we will never ever get any disclosure from our governments. Well, if my videos contribute to make people at least think about the possibilities, and if I could encourage anyone to investigate this any further, I would say mission accomplished. And in all honesty, I don't know if there's any real evidence on YouTube. I don't know if my videos are real evidence. But how can we say for certain something is real or not? Perhaps one day we will see a huge alien mothership landing in a crowded place somewhere with thousands of witnesses. And if this would take place, the charade has finally ended. And there would be no possible way of covering this up. We would be forced to face this event as a collective. In the meanwhile, we have to put the pressure on our governments. We have to demand disclosure. We all inhabit this planet, and we all have the right to know who visits our home. So let all of us decide if the visitors are welcome or not. Okay now, well, thanks for watching my video. This concludes my private message to all of you, and I would like to thank all my subscribers for their everlasting support. Forget about my accent, because I'm from Holland, you know, so I hope you understood what I was telling you, because I'm not sure about my accent, but I told you before. So for now, stay tuned, and stay curious, and stay informed. And remember, imagination is far more important than knowledge.